Welcome to Blind Inspirations. I've gotten a scooter to help me with mobility, to get me around from point to point. Now, I know some people might think, hey, wait, you got low vision. Why are you riding a scooter? But here's the deal. I can still see well enough to ride on sidewalks at safe speeds. My scooter tops out at 21 miles an hour, but I cruise between 9 and 15, always watching my surroundings, always riding with caution. I've also been riding my e-bike for about a year, so I already have a feel for two-wheel movement and managing speed with low vision. But let me say this up front. I'm not recommending that people with low or no vision go out and buy a scooter or a bike and start riding. That's not what this is about. This is my story, what I do and how I do it. And I take safety as my #1 priority. Truth is, I've never ridden a scooter like this before. Not an electric one like the EcoRoad EC9. So I didn't just hop on and take off. I took it to a park first. I rode in circles. I tested the brakes. I got a feel for how it stopped, how it turned, how it responded. Then I started doing figure eights, weaving back and forth, leaning into the motion. Halfway through, I started smiling. I felt like a little kid again. It was fun. It was freedom. I didn't drive all the way home on the scooter that day. I sat and waited for my ride. But while I was waiting for it, I opened up a conversation with ChatGPT, my AI assistant. I asked, why do I feel so good right now? And that's when it introduced me to the vestibular system. It also reminded me of how I felt when I was riding my e-bike, and especially when I was flying my drone. That FPV style flying, where you're leaning into turns, tilting, diving, spinning. It said body. Those were moments when your vestibular system was lit up and your brain felt good because of it. When ChatGPT first told me I was feeling good because of my vestibular system, I had no idea what it was talking about. So I decided to dig in. Here's what I learned. In regular language, the vestibular system lives deep inside your inner ear. Not the part that helps you hear, deeper than that. It's got these little fluid-filled tubes called semicircular canals, and these two little structures called otolith organs, the utricle and the saccule. The semicircular canals handle spinning and rotation, like turning your head side to side or doing circles on a scooter. The otolith organs handle motion in a straight line, like going up and down in an elevator or feeling gravity when you lean forward or backwards. Now, inside all of that, there's fluid. And when you move your head, that fluid shifts and bends these tiny little hair-like sensors that send a signal straight to your brain. And your brain listens. It says, hey, we're spinning, we're tilting, we're going forward. That's how your brain keeps track of which way is up and whether or not you're balanced. But here's where it gets interesting. Balance isn't just one thing. Your brain pulls information from 3 main places: your inner ear vestibular, your eyes visual, and your muscles and joints proprioception. And proprioception, that's your body's ability to sense where it is in space, like knowing where your foot is without looking at it, or reaching for a glass without needing to see your hand. When those 3 are in sync, you feel grounded, stable, clear. But when you start losing your vision, like I am, your brain leans more on the other 2. It starts listening harder to your body, and especially to that inner ear. That's why the vestibular system becomes so important for people with low or no vision. It's your inner compass. Now here's the part nobody told me before. When you activate your vestibular system, your brain can release feel-good chemicals like dopamine and serotonin. That's why movement feels good. That's why spinning in a circle or tilting or gliding through space on a scooter, it can make you feel happy, alive, even peaceful. And yeah, I like having those feel-good hormones pumped into me. There are even scientists studying how vestibular stimulation can help with anxiety and mood. And I believe it because I am living it. The more I do this stuff, the more I move with intention, the better it works. It's not just use it or lose it. It's use it to improve it. If you're not doing anything, you're not going to notice if anything's missing. So yeah, that's the vestibular system. Not just balance, not just inner ear. It's your backup GPS when your eyes can't get the job done. And it can literally change how you feel. That's what ChatGPT showed me, and now I train it on purpose. Once I understood what the vestibular system was and how good it felt to activate it, I made a decision I was going to train it on purpose. And here's the thing, you don't need perfect balance to start. You don't even need vision. There's a whole range of ways to stimulate your vestibular system. I call it the wild to the mild. Let's start with the wild. Roller coasters. If you're totally blind, you can still hop on a roller coaster. No aiming, no need to see. Just sit down, buckle in, and let physics do its job. Roller coasters are one of the simplest and most powerful ways to fire up your vestibular system. All that spinning, tilting, looping, diving, it lights up your brain. Even skydiving, if you're up for it, takes it to the extreme. And every now and then, I like to use a trampoline. It's not practical for everyone, but it's another great way to activate both your vestibular and proprioceptive systems at the same time. Just bouncing, shifting, and reacting to motion forces your body to tune in and adapt, and that makes it powerful. Then there's the moderate stuff. That's where I live. I ride my scooter, I do wide circles, tight figure eights, I lean, I glide, I shift, I ride my bike. I do head rotations while standing in place. I spin slowly, gently, not to get dizzy, but just to stay awake, aware, and oriented. I also fly my drone, and I use my FPV goggles when I do it. It puts me right in the cockpit. A blurry cockpit, but I feel the tilts, the dives, and the motion, and my vestibular system lights up just like I'm in the air myself. And here's something else I do almost every day. Balance. I balance while I'm waiting for a ride. I hop from one parking curb to a next. I walk heel to toe across the floor. I stand still and turn my head slowly side to side. I lean my body forward and back, left and right. I practice good posture. That's proprioception, where my body is in space. These simple movements are more than just tricks. They're ways to keep the vestibular system active and responsive. Simple but powerful if you do it with intention. What matters isn't how extreme it is. What matters is that you're moving, that your brain is getting the signal. I'm here, I'm stable, I'm in motion, and I know it. That's what I'm doing. Not just riding for fun all the time, but riding sometimes with purpose, training my balance, my orientation, and my mental clarity, all through my vestibular system, because I know where this is headed. And I want that system sharp, strong, and in tune before I need it for my primary navigation system. So yeah, wild to mild, that's how I train. So yeah, we started this out with a simple question. Why is a blind guy riding a scooter? And the answer is because it works, because it feels good, because it lights up a part of my brain that still works and works well. But let me say this again, clearly. I am not telling you to go ride a scooter. I've been riding since I was 3 or 4 years old. I've built up decades of body awareness, reaction time, and experience on 2 wheels, even with low vision. What I'm doing now, this is my system. It fits my body, my history, and where I am in my vision loss journey. Your system might look totally different, and that's the point. This is not about scooters. This is not about being extreme. This is about movement. This is about training your brain, about activating something inside you that says, I'm here, I'm balanced, I'm in motion, and I'm okay. And here's the bigger truth. There's not a person on the planet who couldn't benefit from this type of training. I don't care if you're blind, sighted, young, old, athlete, or couch-bound. Your vestibular system is part of you. And when you train it, everything else improves. If you do this, if you start training your vestibular system, here's what's going to happen. You'll feel better. You'll walk better. You'll move better. You'll orient better. You'll react better. You'll recover better. You'll find your way better, even if you're lost. You'll be more balanced, more confident, and more connected to your body. Because the better your brain knows where you are in space, the better everything else works. So, if you got a nugget of inspiration from this video, please hit the like button. And if you really enjoyed it, hit the subscribe button. And if you want to be notified when we drop some new videos, hit the notification bell. Thank you for watching today.